Helen was explaining that you and your partner Mike are both cancer survivors.
That is correct. Mike Peters plays for a rock band called The Alarm. Maybe some of you have heard of it. He also now fronts a band called Big Country.
Yeah.
So Mike got diagnosed with leukemia several years after me, and a mutual friend put us in contact, and I kind of mentored him through his treatment. In fact, I brought him over to the U.S. to get him second opinions at some of the best hospitals in the world. Yeah.
That's what you were diagnosed with as well, or you were treated for, yeah?
I was treated in Dallas, Texas at Baylor Hospital.
Yeah. I guess not in every case, but in many cases, part of that treatment involves a bone marrow transplant for certain kinds of leukemia.
That's correct. Bone marrow transplants are also used to treat sickle cell, and actually they're using bone marrow transplant to cure AIDS now.
Wow. And so then you're relying on somebody in a database having a match that would provide suitable bone marrow for you to then undergo the transplant with.
That's correct. I mean, leukemia is one of the only cancers. It is the only cancer where you actually need another human being to stay alive.
Huh. Wow.
There's global registries. I mean, there's registries in almost every country. It's just a matter of the needle in the haystack, because it's almost a DNA copy of yourself that you're looking for. And it has to match on every level. And I had a very, very difficult time finding a match. In fact, it got down to the 11th hour where they didn't think they were going to find a match for me.
Oh, wow.
When they found a donor in a little village outside of Berlin, Germany, who'd never met an American, never been on an airplane, never spoke a word of English, yet he was on the registry and matched me and ended up saving my life.
Wow, amazing. What a great story.
Yeah.
And how does the procedure work for the donor? Is this a painful process to become a bone marrow donor?
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I started the charity, is because there's a misconception out there that it is painful, and with the advances in the medical industry, it's not painful anymore. I mean, 90% of the procedures are done through blood transfusions. I'm actually one rare case where I actually have donated and received. So I've gone through the entire process. I sat there, I watched 3 movies. I watched Office Space 3 times. And donated the stem cells, and it's absolutely painless.
So what I understand is that you're trying to just encourage people to become part of that registry and become bone marrow, potential bone marrow donors.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I mean, we do it in a really unique way in that we are doing most of our drives at music events all across the world.
Huh.
So right now we're on tour with Linkin Park. Right now we're on tour with Julio Iglesias and J-Lo. This summer alone we did 350 drives across the country. We found 10,000 donors, and we found 313 matches.
Oh, wow.
From our efforts.
Oh, that's great. That's amazing. Yeah.
So, something I was thinking about, I mean, we have found more matches than there are people in this room, so it's pretty amazing to think that that's how many lives that we've saved through our efforts.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, Helen mentioned you're also doing some stuff, raising money and sending aid to poor countries. What's that about?
Yeah, that's actually how the charity started. I mean, Mike and I got together and we thought, why were we so lucky that we had access to quality health care, and was it just because we had health insurance and nationalized health care, and there's millions and millions of people around the world who don't have access to the most basic treatment. So Mike and I came up with this crazy idea to do these concerts around the world in very unique places. We've done concerts on top of Mount Everest at 19,000 feet, Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, Pikes Peak in Colorado. We raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for these cancer centers, which goes a really long way in these developing countries to provide them with equipment and machinery and screening machinery. So
this is really all about you understanding how fortunate you were, A, to find a match, B, to survive, and then after that process, after that ordeal, because a bone marrow transplant is a big deal, you wanted to give back. You wanted to give back in the community that you were familiar with, and you wanted to expand beyond that.
That is correct. I mean, I felt so grateful for having great doctors and great hospitals and a donor. Yeah. And I just felt like that's really what I wanted to make my life's mission, is to make sure everybody had that same chance that I had. Yeah. No more, no less, just the same chance I had.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And what's the organization called again?
Love, Hope, Strength.
Love, Hope, Strength. And there's a website?
LoveHopeStrength.org. You can go there. You can actually get on the registry. We accept donations.
That's great. Well, James, congratulations. It's so great that you've been able to be so generous with your time. We've got a framed Achievement Award certificate for you. Congratulations. This week's winner of the Achievement Award, Mr. James Chippendale, from the organization Love, Hope, Strength, registering potential donors, helping cancer survivors, and spreading the word. James Chippendale, winner of the Achievement Award. Thank you, James.